scumbag. I mean, I was looking at photos that North Korea itself has released of just the little kids. They call them orphanages, and they just put them in beds to starve to death. That's what the state delivers. Absolute hell on earth. And it's now delivering it here in my country. Agenda 21 is in control to a great extent of the town I live in. I'm under UN regulations. They admit it's UN regulations. The public schools are under UNESCO UN regulations. Even private schools that are accredited give their children packets telling you how wonderful Michelle Obama is and how she cares about you and how she's going to tell you what to eat. I mean, you're not supposed to have the dear leader's wife in propaganda to your kids. This is all the trappings of a country hurtling into despotism. And we're in a depression. The economy is slowly shutting down. They're devaluing the currency. All of this is happening. Now, I'm going to do something. I'm going to open the phones up first for the rest of the hour. And then, in the second hour, I will begin getting into the massive news. U.S. troops to have supervision as Pentagon orders electronic contact lenses that let them see through drones flying overhead. That's going to be the cybernetic system. I'm going to talk about that. Radar Online, Radar Magazine, makes fun of conservative groups that don't like a new HBO show that shows children doing things that I won't even post on my website, even though it's news. It is 5-year-old girls performing artificial oral sex on giant sex toys. See how they push the line on you? And people are like, what's the point of that? It's all psychological warfare. That's what the TSA is doing this to your children's about. That's what this is about. That's what all of violence, it's all meant on record to stunt your conscience, to stunt your mind to where you don't recognize corruption anymore. I mean, they come out in the news and they give children vaccines without parental consent now. Totally illegal, they just do it. California actually passes a law saying they can do it. It's still illegal. Pass a law saying blacks are slaves. Still illegal. I say it's a fraud. Goes against common sense and common law. They take your children for not having vaccines. There's no law. They just do it. That's what I mean. It's a lawlessness. And I was on Drudge today looking at the Radar article. I linked over to it. And I told my webmasters, I said, you know, I don't even want to link to this. But I guess I'm going to tell Kurt to actually write an article about it. I mean, I was looking at this stuff, and I was like, really? This is the promos running on HBO? 5- and 6-year-old girls? One of the customer service people here at InfoWars was here with her 3-year-old daughter this morning, brought her to work with her. And, of course, I've known her since she was born. Very, very sweet. I know her older daughter, who I guess who's 9 years old now. And it was a year and a half ago or so that her story of flying back into Austin from Denver and how they had a big pot-bellied man come over and before she even knew what was going on, start trying to go in her 8-year-old daughter's pants at the time. Or I guess 7.5 at the time. And she said, no, no, no. And they said, oh, yes, we'll get a woman to do it. Oh, like it's okay. I mean, let me tell you, when I was flying back from Las Vegas from doing a video shoot, and they sent over a man, it made it even worse that it was, you know. And I just said, do not touch me down there. I'm going to sue you. And he didn't. He said the fake frisk. Again, the idea that I'm guilty until proven slave. Guilty until proven slave of Goldman Sachs, under the Goldman Sachs dictatorship. I mean, that's what we're under. Even Economist Magazine and Financial Times of London admit Europe is under a Goldman Sachs, J.P. Morgan dictatorship of fraud. Getting Europe to sign on to their debt and then destroying their economies by design. I mean, Greece is war in the streets, people dumping their kids out at government buildings, cholera, other diseases, malaria has showed back up, hadn't been there in hundreds of years. I mean, it's collapse. You're like, why do the bankers want that? They want to make money. No, they don't. They print the money. They want to implode that country and buy it up and make everybody poor as a weapon of control. It's their nature. They're nasty, evil people. It's why they're in control, because they're ruthless. All right, continuing here, and I'm going to go to break and come back with your calls in the long segment coming up. Because I digress, seeing her little daughter in here, so innocent, and I think about how innocent my children are and how I have to keep them away from television, even, you know, Christian friends and people. I can't really send them over to be at people's houses if they watch television at all because of what's on it. I can't even really let them go to my parents and watch a football game because of the ads. You're like, oh, come on, it's not a big deal. My parents aren't, but other people are like, I can't be in a pizza place with my children with the TV on, with the stuff that's there now. HBO is coming out with a primetime show called Angry Boys that shows little girls who are so innocent and so good with giant sex toys sucking on them. I mean, what else am I supposed to say? This is what they put on television. It shows giant cups that are the shapes of men's genitals. And this is what they do. And I can't even get into the rest of it here on air. It gets worse. On adult radio, and it's such a crime. This is attacking innocence. That's what the sex ed is. They're not trying to teach in public schools worldwide under UN standardization. It's all UNESCO. It's the same from Australia to the US, from Germany to Denmark. It's global standardization. They don't teach you, hey, if you have sex, you can catch these diseases like they tell you they do. No. It was all about how to have sex. And I'll tell you, when I was sitting there in middle school with sex education, all it was making me do is look over at the girl next to me and her look over at me. All it was doing was sexualizing and destroying innocence of people in the 6th grade. But now they've got it down to first graders, and it's all been covered. And they say, oh, you're just being homophobic. Hey, I don't care if it was homosexual, heterosexual, whatever it is. You don't teach children, period. 5, 6, 7-year-olds. Heather has 2 mommies. You know, Billy has 2 daddies, all this. This is what they teach children. And then they teach them stuff that I didn't even know about sexually until I was in college. Stuff I've never even heard of as an adult. They teach children, and now you watch everything on television. It's anti-male, it's wussification, women run everything, it's degeneracy, everything's a joke. They're turning us into animals that can't resist. And all the violence, it desensitizes people. The studies show it. People can't differentiate all the simulated murders and video games and television with the real thing. So it's like, oh, where'd the neighbor go? Oh, they arrested him. Oh, yeah, they killed the neighbor. He's dead. They burned his house down. He wouldn't give it to the feds for a green zone. And then reporters show up and try to walk into city council. They go, no, you're not allowed to come in a public building. There's no law. We got guns. Why don't you go watch HBO where they take 6-year-old girls? I mean, folks, these are little bitty innocent girls. It makes me feel very violent. I'm going to be honest with people.
We're on the march.
The toll-free number to join us and be part of the worldwide broadcast, going out on over 100 AM and FM affiliates, XM channel 166, WWCR Global Shortwave worldwide, and, of course, audio streams at Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com, and, of course, video streams at PrisonPlanet.tv. Again, I want to thank you all for joining us today. I'm going to go to your calls here in just a moment, and later I'm going to get into this. But it is so over the top. But see, soon it won't be. They just always take a little more, until in the United States, on cable TV, they have children doing things that, according to federal law, are illegal. They've tried to pass laws that I believe are unconstitutional, even though I do find these practices disgusting and distasteful, of drawings of underage sex. And there's a reason cultures have all gone after people that mess with children. A, it's unnatural. B, it's predatory. It's preying on the most defenseless and the heart of humanity. This war on children, all these sitcoms and dramas. act like it's terrible to have children. You'll get some empty, mindless yuppie come up and laugh at you. I've had it in grocery stores for having 3 children. People that I know that have 5 or 6 get harassed. Because these people, it's their religion, that television's their friend, those messages on TV are their friend, and they have this gibbering disdain in their false reality for those of us that actually are part of the human race and part of consciousness and part of reality. And so, demonize men, demonize the family, demonize people that are straight. See, it's not just, oh, don't attack people that are into alternative lifestyles. No, it's attack people that are straight. One time I got invited to someone's birthday party, and that person was gay. And again, I don't dislike people that are gay. And I go to the party, and I'm there with my wife, and probably half the people that were there were you know, that sexual preference. I was just, you know, trying to be nice, fine, whatever. I don't care. You know, I'm not obsessed with it. It's not like something I'm, you know, just my whole life is about obsessing about like the media does and just pushing it constantly. And I probably had 10 people out of 40 or so at the thing go, ooh, you've got kids, ooh. And it's just like, well, I didn't even bring my kids up. Oh, diapers, gross. And I'm just like, tell my wife, let's just get out of here. You know, it's just like, I don't need to hear how I'm bad all day, okay? And that's what this is about, going into the schools, going into the cultures, and pushing this on people. Because it's not just the sexual act. It's the, and I'm not saying everybody that's involved in that's doing that. I'm saying it's the politicization and this agenda, and it's like a gang. But it's not just a gang into sexual preferences or whatever. It's the whole deal. Germany passes laws, no new single-family homes by 2020. Huge fines and fees if you have them now. You will live in communal dorms. That's what the Mao Zedong tried, and it killed, the Chinese say 86 million. The CIA says 64 million. You can look it up. There's a debate. 60-something, 80-something mil, whatever. I mean, folks, they killed tens of millions of people trying this. The globalists say, if we can ever end the normal human cycle and create an artificial one, we've won. It's a revolution against humanity and our basic system by control freaks that want to play God. And where does communism come from? It comes from the Jacobins and other Illuminati groups. I mean, mainline history books. Illuminati, Jacobins, France, French Revolution. This is real history. George Washington wrote and spoke on this. Okay? I mean, this is history. After our revolution, they have their own. And let me tell you, it was pure Illuminati. Totally different than ours. Fashioning itself off what George Washington did on the surface, but beneath the surface, they tried to go to a 9-day week. They tried to change the seasons. They tried to end families. They tried to, oh yes. Marx and Engels didn't write the Communist Manifesto. That had all been pushed under other names. The Rothschilds openly financed it all. They financed the Jacobins.